Okay, here we go. A bit more history with Alexander the Great, etc. Book 11, chapter 3. In the transito, in the crossing or moving or whatever, he had encouraged the Thessalonians, whoever these people are, and of the benefits of the things well done of Philip his father, and he admonished them or reminded them of his mother's her necessitude, which is her closeness or interaction or blood relativeness or from the race of these people here, whoever the hell they are, with them. So basically he's encouraging these people, reminding them about what his father had done and of the close ties that his mother had with this race. The Thessalis, having heard this, then with a desire, had a desire for these things. By the example of his father, he had been created or made the Dux, the general of his entire race, or of these races universally, and the Vectigalias, these are taxes, all of them, and they handed to him, and the rest of their reditus, which is their returns, their revenue or income. But the Athenians, just as they had been the first to defect, using Sikuti and Ita here, they were the first people who began to regret their decision. The contempt of the enemy they turned into admiration, and the boyhood or the youth of Alexander, who before they had spretammed him, they had spurned his youthful nature. Now they're extolling, lifting up above any valor or virtues they had of their old generals. So they're having a change of heart. 5. Itaque. And so, with legate sent, they deprecanted. The deprecon usually means to avert. And so they're praying that war would be averted with these people being heard, or their legates being heard. And gravita, or seriously, Alexander done a bit of increpiting to them. He'd chastised them. He called off the war he was going to do. 6. Then he converted his army to Thebes, and about to use the same ablative indulgenceness he would to the Thebans, which he'd done with Athens, if he had found, there's the C meaning a clause, it's got the subjunctive, if they had the same type of regret that Athens did. 7. But the Thebans, with arms, not with prayers or orations nor deprecations, they used arms, not these averting methods. And so, I like to put devicti there for some reason, makes me remember what it means. So defeated, the most serious supplication they experienced of wretched captivity. Experti, the second declension type, means experience. Remember, expers in the third declension means without. So when in their council, there's a C there, meaning it's a council, they deliberated concerning the destruction of the city. These people and these other people, all allies of Alexander and participants of his victory, we've got the excidia, the destruction of their cities, and the cruelty of the Thebans they referred to. Looks like also the studia, their zeal or enthusiasm for the Persians, not only in present times, but also in the veteran times, in the olden times. Another more rebuking going on here against the liberty of the Greeks. So looks like these people have a history of being troublesome. 10. Quam obram. Remember, ob means because of, so which matter because of this reason, or something like that, you might say. There was a hatred of these, of all the people. All the peoples had a hatred for these people, for the reasons of their past history, and they fought against the liberty of Greece, and they destroyed some cities. Okay, so we'll scroll a bit more. Quad vel. Vel looks pretty weak here. This was manifest from this also, by this fact that they had all swore an oath, urendo, ure, swearing oath, which obstrinxerated themselves all together. It's tied them all together, binded them all together in an oath. So this hatred was manifest. So that when here's a future ablative absolute. So in future, when the Persians are beaten, they would overturn Thebes. They added also fabulas, which are stories of prior crimes in which filled up all of their stage plays. So they must have really hated these guys. They made a lot of plays about hating them. So not only because of their present perfidiousness, but also they were in visi for it, that they would be hated for their, again, veteran or ancient time infamies. They are well known as an enemy sort of thing. 4. Then Cleides, one from the captives, was data, was given potestates, female, power was given to him of speaking. Not from the king, they had deserted or what do we call it, defected, whom they had heard had been indefected, he'd been killed. So they didn't turn away from the king, they'd heard he was dead, but from the heirs of the king. And whatever they had admitted or done in this situation was of credulity, the blame was, not of perfidy. Of which, nevertheless, now already, great punishment, they had already been paid out, with all their all their youth had been deleted or destroyed in war. 3. Now of old men and women, as it were, infirm and harmless, innoxious, his vulgus, it was the Daily Dictionary word yesterday, they restare. Remember, this is a reported speech, so it's infinitive. So now there was just the common people left, harmless, infirm, of the old women and the men, which themselves, ipsum, had already been vexated with stupris, which is sexual crime usually, and insults. Correlatives thus that say nothing more amarious or serious ever they had passed, they had suffered. Neither was it now, sometimes no longer, but neither was it now that he was begging for the citizenry or the people or the city, but it was for those who remained, so few of them who remained, he was begging. But it was for the innocent soil of his genitive here, of the fatherland, and for the city, which not only men, but even the generated gods who were given birth to. Even he had a private superstition. He was asking for a bit of a break from the king, because, what have we got here? Genotype, so born here was Hercules, from where the Gens, this race of people, this lineage, had drawn their origin. And what have we got here? At Thebes, the boyhood of his father Philip had been acted out, or he lived here or something. Okay. The deponent. Avert by prayer, entreat, pray for, beg, intercede, beg pardon for mercy, relief, exemption. Top 1,000 words in elementary Latin books. Where did I get to? He asked that he should spare the dative, the city, which partly had adored his ancestors amongst themselves who had been born gods, and partly because he'd seen that reared up here had been kings of the greatest majesty sort of thing, really important kings. But anger was more potent than prayers, and so the city was dirooted. It was destroyed, overturned, and the fields amongst the victors was divided.